What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 3 of The Roast of Us. We're really excited you're here with us. We have an interesting topic, a little more deep topic, I guess you
A
could
little
say,
serious.
than the last 2 weeks. Today, we're going to talk about how we navigate the chaos of having like a normal and fulfilling life while also chasing your dreams and going after something that has a little more risks. So I'm really excited to get into it with you guys.
Cody, before we get into any of that, I
Okay.
have a question.
Whoa! On the
Yes, we're bringing
podcast.
it back on the
Ah,
podcast.
all right.
How did you know that I was the one?
Oh, at 19 years old when
Oh
I
my-
asked you to marry me.
Yes.
So it's a really complicated process. You were one of one women willing to sleep with me at the time, and I think no, come on.
That's
I was just
awful.
homeless and sick and went through the worst part of my
I
life. and
had
you stuck
low
by my side.
self-esteem. No, I can't. There's actually a two-parter to this question. Okay.
Okay.
Am I the only person you ever told that they were the one?
One other person before you. So
Who? What? Wait.
so
wait.
this week has been chaos, guys. I was out of town.
It's about to be more
Leslie
chaos.
was home.
Home with these freaking kids that I birthed. Meanwhile, you're out here saying another person's the one.
No,
We gotta move on.
But I was out of town for an entire week this week. Leslie
It was
stayed
like 4
home.
days.
Yeah.
Sunday through Wednesday.
But it was,
you
yeah,
were
I mean,
gone?
it was a long enough time, and trying to create content
Too
throughout
damn
that
long.
ended up working really well, but was not as easy as I would have hoped. Definitely felt a lot harder, but we got it done. We got it done. Barely.
We were barely hanging on by a literal thread is how I felt like my sanity was.
Yeah, and
my
I feel like
sanity
you
was
definitely had the
going
harder job. Like I had to
Yeah,
go to
for
meetings
sure.
every day, but you had all 5 kids.
For sure. There are times that I think your job is hard and challenging, and I'm not going to diminish what you do and what you bring to the table for this family. But yeah, I definitely had the shit into the stick
Yeah.
on that one.
And it was crazy too because even with what I was doing, it was such long days that in the meetings we're so focused on what we're doing. I didn't have time to kind of look through TikTok
I would
or
just
get ideas or
track your
figure anything out.
location. I would track your location to see if you were still at the office or if you were like in the car back of your hotel. Because if you were in the office, I was being very conscious, like not to call you and interrupt your day. Because you were there with like higher ups and like big people in the company, and I was like, no, he needs to be focused and like on top of his game. So I would wait and I would refresh the Find My like page to see where you were at before I kind of got into it.
And the crazy thing is, Leslie was dealing with all 5 children and getting them to school, taking care of them, making them dinner. And I would still leave work and she would have already posted 2 quality content videos or something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even get one out. All I have to do is sit at work. But you were cranking it out last week. It was like the last couple of weeks have been hot for you. It's been good.
It's finally though. I felt like we were both like collectively together, kind of like not going downhill. It's not like our careers were plummeting, but it's just hard. You know, you got to kind of ride the wave of the
Navigate
algorithm
the
and get back-
chaos.
Navigate the chaos. Boom, there it is. No, it was rough holding down the house. And honestly, once the kids are at school during the day, it's not so bad because we only have Rory at the house when all the other kids are gone, and she's pretty good to just like chill and do her own thing. So it's not as difficult for me to be able to sit and like have the free time. Like I got the house clean pretty early on. That's a lie. I did not get the house clean earlier on the week. I did absolutely nothing to clean the house until the day Cody was coming home, and I like rushed to clean the house because it was wrecked, I tell you. But I just couldn't focus on the house and focus on trying to figure out whatever like content we were doing. It's hard finding that balance. And people are like, "Oh, you just post a video." No, it's I feel like I can't do anything else if like this is what I'm focused on in like right now.
And I think that kind of sets us up for where we want to kind of go first is when you're talking about figuring out how to be successful, or have success, the first thing you got to do is define what that is to you because it's different for a lot of people. And I think for us, for a long time, it was different than it is now. I think for the first 6 years of our marriage, we kind of defined success as getting to a point where we were able to be comfortable with the house
Keep our
we
head
live
above
in,
water.
keep your head above water, put some money in the bank, kind of get to a point where you kind of move past the initial struggles of life, and now you're trying to move forward with building up your life. And I think we got to that point where we made enough money to have what we needed, a house, cars, things like that, be able to put food on the table every week. And what really turned into a simple, easy formula for success, which is just keep your head above water. Once we got there, then we really had to learn to define
How do we
outside of
broaden
that,
that?
broaden
Yeah.
that? How do we kind of push into that? And for a lot of the time, it was based on time spent working
Hmm.
versus money earned.
For sure.
Because we went through a really crazy time in our relationship where I was working 80, 90, 100-hour work weeks with a like hour and a half commute.
You would leave in the morning during that time at like 4:30, and you would not get home until like 8 o'clock, 8:30, depending on the traffic. So like you would wake up before, and the twins were little. The twins were like had just turned a year old. I was fortunate, I did have family and stuff living close, so I wasn't, all on my own, which saved me truly. Um, but you didn't see us. You didn't see the kids. Like it. By the time you got home, I'd try to keep them up as long as I could. But they were little bitty. They were ready to
Pretty
be in
much had
bed.
to give them a hug goodnight and send them on.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing too is that job that I was working like crazy. I don't know that I would have quit it when I did, which I think was a good time because I actually didn't quit that job. That's
No.
the infamous I lost my job because I kept crapping my pants. I kept crapping.
Which is funny now. We can laugh now, but it was not funny.
It was not funny at the time. But no, I was the time that they really decided that's it. You're not going to be on the side
This is
anymore.
not funny.
This was like the fourth time I'd shit my pants at work. And the funny part is, it was a construction site, and I don't know if you guys have ever been to like a true construction site. We were building a tower, a cooling tower, and it was 360. Yep, scaffold building, 360 feet in the air. So it was like 20 floors up, and each floor was grates. So they were like, you could pour water down them, and then we go through. Yeah, well, I wasn't pouring water down there. I was up on the very top floor, and when I tell you that.
That's so sad.
It was explosive diarrhea out of my ass, and it just came down my leg and started dripping all down it. People down below were like, "What the hell is that? Oh, it stinks. Oh, it's gross."
That's
I was
absolutely mortifying.
horrified. There was no elevator either. So you have to think about it. Like I am a long way up in this building, and I have to take the stairs down covered in shit. Each floor that I would come down, I was stinking so bad. People were like, "Oh, what's that smell?" And I just finally got to the point where I was like, "I shit my pants, okay?"
And you had to ride home.
Smell is. Yeah. So then the crazy thing is, I get to the bottom, and they have the safety coordinator and the manager at the bottom of the stairs waiting for me, and they're like, "Look, you're a good employee, but this is too far. You can't crap on people. Like we have to
and get away with it."
They literally had to shut down the entire like anywhere that my shit had dripped.
That's like
down.
biohazardous material.
Biohazardous material. They had to go like do like this deep clean and all sorts of stuff. So it literally cut my company's profit for like half of a day that everybody had to get off the tower. Like they literally told me like, "Look, you gotta go. You can come back if you figure out what's going on with you." But that job was we might not have left it if not for that though.
No, because you were making stellar money.
Yeah, I mean,
it was the most money at that point in time that we had ever made, and it felt like finally, because we did have the boys so young, and we struggled. I mean, obviously, like I feel like we've been pretty open about that, like our TikToks and whatever else. We were not used to seeing that kind of thing come in consistently. But even with having like money put back, when we had kind of accumulated a certain number of bills because we were making that money pretty consistently. We had money put back, but when all of a sudden you go from making that much money a week to making nothing, you eat through that savings pretty quick. And we were in a really, really shitty
all because Cody couldn't keep it in his pants.
All because Cody couldn't.
That's a gross way of saying it.
It in his pants.
No, but I mean, if you really think about it, though, that was a good learning moment for me because once I lost the job, and it started to become a problem. Like,
we had to move out of our house.
We ended up having to go to a whole new city to get another job because in that moment, our definition of success changed though, because we were like, I don't want to go back to that work either. I don't want to miss my kids growing up. In this moment, I realized I want to do something different. And that's when I started pursuing the career that I'm in now, way back then, back when I lost that job. And that's when my success kind of changed.
And let's just clarify, we're not talking about like social media career. Like this is not
we're
TikTok.
Talking about
this is your like
my career
daily
that I'm in right now.
Professional job you do now.
Yep. So I think that's what you really got to learn through, and you can do it a couple different ways. Success, you could do it the hard way like we did, where it's trial and error.
Oh man.
Or if you've kind of done things a little differently. Actually, me and Anthony, we have the same position in a sense, like we complement each other in the same company. So we're coworkers. We have kind of the same thing. and we've kind of talked about this before, the different paths we took to get to where we are.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, you just heard a little bit of mine. I had all sorts of different jobs, got fired from that one, had to move careers a lot, you work my ass off.
End up owning the construction company.
To end up where I'm at. Yeah. Whereas Anthony, I'll let him kind of tell you his path to get to the same place.
Yeah. So I would not take your path in all this. So for me, it was leaving high school with scholarships and going to university, deciding halfway through university that maybe I want to do engineering instead of being a game warden. And so that kind of changed the path of my life. And I had critical people in my life at that time that helped me make that decision. But ultimately, once I got my degree and I got out into the workforce and you start really experiencing the corporate lifestyle, it was not what I thought it would be, to say the least. And so after working in the paper industry for years, I decided to make a shift, and that's how I got to meet Cody and start working with him.
You were miserable.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was awful.
But it made me who I am today.
Yeah.
And experiencing those struggles, I haven't really experienced a whole lot of failure in my life, and that's to my betterment and also to my detriment. And I recognize that.
Yeah, actually, we had a conversation about this not long ago where it's like every failure that I've had, and I've had plenty, taught me something and matured me. And, you know, as long as you take that failure and you look at it in that way where how can I learn from this? How can I mature from this? I think you move forward a stronger and better person. But like Anthony said, I wholeheartedly agree. If you were going to try to get into the field we're in, like an electrical engineering field is the field we're in, I would take the university route. It was an easier, smarter route to take. But here's the thing. We both ended up at the same place. And
you're the same age.
We're the same age. Mm-hmm. Anthony's a little younger, like 9 months younger than I am. And if you kind of look at that and you see how we've defined the level of success and how it's a different path for everybody, I think you really have to keep that in mind when you look at how you're going to determine what success means to you. Because for me, it immediately became time. Make the most amount of money for the least amount of time. And I still think that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I think with one caveat, being able to utilize that time to also pursue my dreams. I think that's where I'm at now. So I went from just trying to get to where I have a job that allows me freedom, where I don't have to work 80, 90 hours a week and still provide for my family. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, okay, now that I have that job where I'm not working 80, 90 hours a week, does it still allow me the mental fortitude? Because that's a big thing is are you mentally okay to have another job?
Because here's the thing. You went and you were owning your own company.
Yep.
After that, like and you general contracting and you were doing that. And here's the thing. And you own your own business, so I can make my own hours. It doesn't work that way. You worked more, and I have never seen you, in the entire 10 years we've been together, underneath that kind of immense stress. And I mean, like after losing your job back, way back when the boys were little, when we were like broke and like worried about making ends meet, I had never seen you under that kind of mental like distress.
That was definitely a part of
the weight of the world on your shoulders. And I'm so grateful for the the career you're able to have now, because I mean, it's a job, right? Like it's still your job, but it ultimately, I really do think you enjoy it. I think you found something that you obviously like, the people that you work with. It gives you the time to be able to put into some of your dreams and some of the things that you just really enjoy doing, and spend time with your family while making the money that we need to, keep floating on. So
and this is something I kind of want to shift into. And I think Leslee speaks better to this, because it feels like I had been running full speed forever and just haven't stopped still. But how we changed when we decided to try and go after something bigger, because it's a risk. And I think we decided, you really were the big person. You said, instead of a traditional career, I want to go after the risk.
And I'm going to be honest. I think sitting here, like I just now like processed something just as you said that. I think talking about that, it makes me realize, because I was behind. I felt behind. I said a lot of the other girls, and not everybody, you know what I mean? And again, I think I said this either last week's episode or the episode before, being a stay-at-home mother and being a homemaker and being a stay-at-home wife is nothing to be ashamed of it. In fact, it should be celebrated, and I think it's absolutely incredible. You know, I've done it, but it's easy to say that to people, but then feel a certain way about yourself at the end of the day. And I felt behind, and I felt like I didn't have another option, but other than to do my own thing and to own my own business or whatever that kind of capacity was, because I didn't have a 4-year degree. I didn't know what kind of 4-year degree I wanted to do, and I made it a priority, and we made it a priority very, very early on in our marriage and in my life that I was going to be home with my children while they were home. This is not a knock on anybody that does. If your child's in daycare, this is not like, I'm not here to shit on anybody and like their choices they make for their family. You're going to do what you think is best. And I think that's awesome. But for us personally, it was really, really important that I was home. And honestly, for a while, I couldn't afford to send them to daycare even if I wanted to. I would have been working for the sake of them being in daycare. And at that point, like, why? Like, what is the point of that? Why? How is that helping me at all?
Yeah, I mean, I also think if you think about it too, when you know the whole time that I was doing what I had to do to supply for the family,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what decision I made, you were right there supporting me. You were sitting there going, "No, you can do this. Don't worry about it. You got it. No matter what happened, no matter how many times I failed." And there were times where things were out of my control, but there were times when things were in my control, and I still messed up. But having somebody there in your corner when she did to finally decide to say, "I'm ready to kind of go work," and she was like, "But I want to do social media," my instant thought was, "That's no, that's not a real, like, you need to get a real career." But then I kind of thought back like for a minute there and I realized like, no, I made so many decisions that everybody in the world was against me but you, and was like, "You should
I'm
not
not
do
gonna get
this."
emotional today. This is too much. I like making fun of you more. I can't deal
But
with
no,
this.
I mean, there was many like people told me, when I closed my business to move to Texarkana and do a complete career shift,
That was so scary.
very few people were thinking it was a good idea, and you were like, "No, I believe in you. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it." So for that split second, I maybe was like, "No, that doesn't make sense. Social media is a career." But then I thought, "No, there's no way. All the dumb decisions I made, there's no way that I can sit here and try to tell you that this is a dumb decision." And am I glad I didn't? 'Cause let me tell you, if my way was hard, her way was real easy. She became good at it real quick.
We became good at it though, because here's my thing. I think I was doing okay doing it by myself, and I genuinely think, and I think here's the thing. Let me just something that we kind of had a conversation about and had to come to a conclusion a while back when all this started is understanding the idea that I can in fact do this without you, and you could pursue your career without me. Without me around, you'd still be able to have a successful career, do all those things. But I don't want to do it without you. I do believe in my heart, and maybe I'm delusional, I don't know. Maybe people on the internet will tell me, Leslie, you're a fool. This only works because of Cody, and that could be true, and that's okay. But whatever the real answer is, and whatever at the end of the day is really happening, I'm glad that you're here and have partnered with me in this because I do think it's better. Like, not everybody, I think, wants to work with their spouse or even could work with them spouse. And our and our friends will tell us that maybe sometimes we should not. Maybe sometimes it's a lot. We always work through it, and we figure it out. And I don't know.
It's challenging
it's
to
challenging.
work with each other.
No, it is. It is hard. So I don't want to sugarcoat it. Like, we were on the phone the other night when you were driving home. Yeah,
Don't
Anthony's
giggle
laughing.
over there.
Anthony's laughing. Carlton is chuckling.
Challenging to watch.
Listen, and let's be transparent. Right before this podcast started,
We were
it
arguing.
can be tension because
We were arguing.
You know, it's easier to be. This sounds bad, but it's easier to be more aggressive or mean to the person like
That
to
you're
your
closest
spouse.
to.
I think
No,
you know,
yeah.
because you're comfortable in that. You know, where I would have maybe. I wouldn't know what I could, how far I can push Anthony.
You know exactly
Carlton.
how far you can.
We
push
know how
me.
far we can push each other, which is almost unlimited because every day we're gonna come back to we love each other.
It's the same idea that like why children are more like poorly behaved with their parents, like with their mothers, typically, like specifically because they're most comfortable around them, and it's the same with me and you. Is like I don't know any of my adult life without being with you. So it's like I get around you and I can just be myself, even if that's me being a super mega bitch for 20 minutes. And that's okay.
Well, I think...
Oh my God, I'm hacking. I'm so sorry.
I think at some point in this, we had a shift in the mindset that we had where we went from, okay, this is a possibility, to this is something we can do.
Oh shit. Like this is
this
happening.
this can work. We can actually do this as a career. We can change our lives through creating content on the internet. I think that there was a shift. Like I think it was kind of like November of last year for me.
1,000%.
You know.
Well, here's my thing. I started making actual money, and you know what I mean. But I started bringing in brand deals first and that kind of thing, and I started making money and seeing like, oh man, like this is something that is really happening, and I can keep doing this as long as I'm performing. And it's hard. It's hard sometimes because you definitely feel the pressure. And I know people feel pressure in their jobs, and I'm very, very blessed. Like, so do not ever think that I'm like, oh my God, my life as a content creator is so hard. Like, that is not my shtick. I feel very fortunate to do what I'm doing, but it is mentally taxing at times, and that pressure to constantly be on and to perform. And like, if my video views say my videos this week only have 50,000 views, then I'm panicking a little bit, and I have to kind of remind myself and talk myself down and calm down. From that. But I mean, we're to the point now where I don't know if I can say this, but like I'm matching your salary pretty close.
Yeah.
And I'm working. At the end of the day, it can be mentally taxing. And yes, I do put the work in, and we do put the work in and the time and the energy. But at the end of the day, I'm at every event of my kids I want to be at. I pick my kids up from school every day. I drop them off. I take them lunch. I go get my nails done. I visit my friends. We're able to go out of town when I want to get like. There's so many harder things I could be doing. And I can say that like from a place of I feel very privileged to do it.
We really
for the amount of money I'm making. There's a lot harder jobs I could do. And
we really wanted to make this, not to tell you guys that we're making money, but to share that there's a reality out there for almost anybody who's willing to put the work in and really do this seriously. Like there is a way, like to make $500, I think, a month, and I think that changes people's lives. It changed ours. I mean, that's what we're talking about when we first started.
Just an extra couple $100 a month was incredible.
Yeah, it was difference making in our lives. We're not, we don't have millions of dollars like that. No, but we're talking about the first when Leslie got her first $500. That was
just
that's a big
the
difference.
Idea of us being able to like even remotely be like a regular 2-income household, because we've never had that. Even though you make decent money, you know what I mean. We're not struggling horribly by any means, but just the idea of like, wow, some people just live like this. Like they have 2 people in the house that make money. Are you joking right now? And that was cool.
But we wanted to do it to show people, that it's possible. We wanted, sure. And here's the thing: if y'all have questions about anything that we're talking about, where if you're like, well, how did you do it, or what did you do, just comment them, and we might bring those up in the next episode, or maybe we'll just send you a DM. But we really think that if we can help people kind of learn from what we've done and kind of bypass some of the hard lessons we've had to learn, then yeah, I mean, I think we wanted. That's why we wanted to make this episode, was to try and hopefully get some people excited about chasing after something that seems unattainable.
And if that's not content creation, if that's not specifically, you know what I mean, you don't have to apply this necessarily to TikTok. You can take this and put that in any like passion area. And not every hobby you have has to make you money, right? Like my hobby is listening to Taylor Swift and watching Dance Moms. Like I'm never going to monetize on that, and that's okay. Like you can't have things you enjoy without making money. But if you wanted to, and that's something you wanted to pursue, like there is an avenue for it. And you just gotta be willing to, I think, go for it.
Yeah. And I think that says a lot about us as a couple. I think if you could define anything that has been a defining factor, like something we've built our relationship on, it's that trust in each other. Like, no, I'm serious. Leslie cannot take not crap talking. She doesn't know how to handle it.
I don't know how, when you're so nice to me in front of other people, I'm like,
oh my God. That's like a backhanded compliment. He's never nice to me. No,
you are very sweet. Compliments make me fancy. I get really uncomfortable.
And that is why I was able to marry her. Not why, but able. I told her she had nice, like, your hair, it's nice. And she was like, yeah.
And I get so, I can't.
No, but I mean, I think that is a big part of what we do is you have to trust each other. You have to work with each other. You have to support one another when you're the only ones willing to do it. And I think seriously.
It is the key. I didn't make that face because it is sweet. Like it is true.
But there were probably 4 or 5 times I know for a fact that the right decision was the one I made. And the only person in the entire world who was telling me that is the decision you should make was my wife. And I think it's because she's at the, the only person who believed in me when I was 22
Maybe I should
years
have had
old.
less blind support of you from day
Hey,
one
hey.
sometimes. Hindsight's 2020.
Hey.
And maybe I should have been more confrontational early in our marriage. No.
Dang.
No, be serious. There are definitely times be serious. There are definitely times I probably should have been more confrontational. But I'm glad I'm not. I mean,
Listen,
we're here.
I regret nothing. That's
I don't
the way
regret
it is.
anything.
That's where we're here. Well,
That's
that's
what
what that means. Like, I
No.
should have changed that.
No, I'm not saying I should have changed
confrontational.
anything. That was a joke. That's a bitch.
Yeah,
Shut up. You will also. You're trying to tell me I could have argued more effectively from day one.
That's not what I mean.
That's not what I'm saying. You
'Cause
know
that
what
was
I'm
what
saying.
I told you from day one. Like, you're gonna have to speak your mind.
And now
Which
he
is-
can't get
yeah.
me to shut up. You played yourself.
No, it works well. It does. It really does. Anthony, what is the time we at? We about time for a break?
25 minutes, man.
Yep.
All right, let's take a break.
Let's
guys.
take a break.
All right, welcome back, guys. We're going to kind of end this episode with just kind of telling you how we actually go about our days doing both. So,
Okay. So like start of the day. Like I wake up 6:30. Yeah, wake up about 6:30, get the kids ready, take them to school. I'm usually at the door by like 7:15. At the latest is when I like to be out the door. Sometimes I don't cooperate. Go drop them all off. Sometimes I'll stop, get a little Starbies. Then I head home. Typically in the morning, I'll come back, make Aurora breakfast. And then I kind of do more research on content if I can. I like to get like if I have any ads or like sponsored content, I like to do that first thing in the morning. And really, it's for one reason: it's the lighting in my dining room where I film a lot of my content. Film a lot has the best like natural light. At that time of day, try to do some of my chores before. Really, if I can get all of my content like filming into like a 2-hour window, that's like ideal. And then I have the rest of my day to kind of do whatever I need to do. Leave to go pick up the kids at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, somewhere in there, depending on how early I want to leave. Come back, we'll do like the after school thing. Me and you will get like debrief on the day when you get done working because you're usually done before 5. Typically, you're like
yeah, I
pretty
usually
much done for
get
the
up
day.
about the same time that you leave to take with the kids. I'll get up, I'll get ready for work.
Do your emails.
I go through my day.
Yeah, whatever you
and
have to do
then
that day.
We meet up at the end of the day kind of thing. Film usually before
if
dinner.
If we have content we're filming together.
Or if we haven't got something filmed
If we
specifically.
if our time has been different.
Between picking up the kids from school / getting off work and dinner, we try to get something filmed then. Kids go to bed around 8:30ish, and then we spend, I would guess, an hour and a half, 2 hours just focusing on critiquing each other's content, giving each other ideas.
Planning new podcast episodes now, adding.
And that goes, I guess
content,
Leslie
all of
probably
that.
falls asleep around 10. I'll stay up till
11.
10,
Sometimes
11.
11. Yeah, 11.
And I'm usually up to like 1, 2.
Yeah, he'll just
2,
stay up
3.
literally
I stay up till I
all
crash
night.
every night. That's just how it works.
It's
just
so
until
not
I crash,
sustainable. That
so.
is so not healthy for you.
Most likely not. But
It's so bad. Because honestly, I know we film like sometimes later in the afternoon. I try to avoid film because we typically will do our videos together in the afternoon, which is why in the morning I try to get my stuff done that I know is going to be like my solo content, my ad stuff, my stuff that I know I don't need you at all for. That's like I'm just gonna get ready with me is that kind of stupid shit that I post. I don't know. That way we have very minimal to do when you get home. And like we are all home and we can do the stuff together. I also don't like to be working too much once the kids are home. We try to kind of keep that to a minimal as much as we possibly can. But you know, we do what we can do because the kids also have activities and shit. Not right now. Really, nobody's doing anything like right now. It's a slow time for us. But once school picks back up in the fall,
you just work around it,
buddy.
Just work around it.
Oh, buddy.
But I mean, that's really it, though. I mean, that's how we do it. We just set aside some time, and we stay focused on it, and we define what we want to do.
Yeah, because the second
where we want to be,
I get off of that schedule. Everything it snowballs.
It has to be like a job. It can't just you have to take it serious enough to do it every day. Go put in your 9 to 5 hours in a sense, and take it serious. But I mean that really is it, guys. I do want to tell a story though. This podcast. I really if you saw my TikTok earlier this week, you kind of saw what this story is about. But I want to lead into something with it. So this week my son approached me and decided to tell me that he saw boobs.
He's 7.
He's 7. And I was like, where did you see boobs? He tells me I saw them on my arcade machine.
He told you he saw them in the video game first.
Video game, yeah.
And then you're
and I was like, what video game?
Video game?
And he brings me to his arcade machine, and he's like, yeah, at the end of this, if you rescue the mermaid She doesn't have a shirt on. So I obviously beat the game because I got to see what I'm talking about here. And if you want to see, it's on my TikTok. I've a picture of it, but it is like true pixelated.
There's no nipples.
There ain't no nipples on this girl, okay? And
Kevin Hart in this bitch.
But it was funny because my son was like, I saw boobs, and I mean, I guess technically you're correct. You saw the shape.
Does it count? Okay.
On a mermaid.
Here, no.
If it doesn't count if it has no nipples?
Yeah. If there's no nipple, it doesn't count as a boob.
Well, listen. For him, it did. See, that's what I'm saying. All right, so that leads me into this question, okay?
Okay.
I want to know everybody in this room's sexual awakening, okay? Like the moment you realized I'm attracted
Spider-Man.
to an... You were a little fast with that?
Spider-Man.
Just Spider-Man? Like
yes.
What moment? Was there a moment, or are you just saying like the character of Spider-Man?
Okay. So
webs.
it was not the webs.
The webs.
Ew. As a matter of fact, can I change my answer?
But Tobey Maguire's webs, the ones that come out of his arms.
Well, she only likes the organic ones.
Organic web.
What is happening? No, it was none of those things. It was not the freaking webs.
Well, what was it?
It was the kiss. And
the
first...
Tobey Maguire kiss?
Okay, it's not about Tobey Maguire, though. You gotta leave the mask on.
Tobey Maguire
No, it's not Tobey Maguire. No, Spider-Man. Because to this day, that's why you think I'm in love with Tom Holland. It's not Tom Holland. I just love Spider-Man. I just knocked that. I love Spider-Man.
Listen. You can
leave the mask on.
You can put a mask on it or not, but that's Tobey Maguire. You know what I mean? Like, you have to say...
I do not have to say anything.
He dances down the
that
sidewalk.
Is Spider-Man
that's
3.
The
We're not
same
talking
guy.
about Spider-Man 3. We're talking about the Mary Jane upside-down kiss. I watched that at like 7 or 8 years old and thought, I want to do that.
I get it. I do.
Okay, Cody, what was yours then? Actually, I already know what yours was. Go, continue.
Yeah.
Tell the class.
I still remember it vividly. The Legend of Zorro, the Mask of Zorro.
How vividly?
Honestly, like I can close my eyes and see it. No, I don't remember the Legend or Mask, whatever the first Zorro is. He cuts off Catherine Zeta-Jones's dress.
Oh yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I had the thought of like, I want to see those titties. Cut her hair, move her hair. What are you doing? Why is your hair like that? Nobody's hair is normally like that.
To be fair, I also might want to see Catherine Zeta-Jones' titties.
That movie would be in the top 10 movie all time if Catherine Zeta-Jones
if there were titties.
Had her titties out in it. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
But the reason I actually wanted this segment to happen is because I know yours, I know mine, but there's Anthony especially. He probably wouldn't normally say this, but he's on the podcast.
We're making him.
So he's got to do it.
We're making him.
All right, Anthony. What you got? What was your moment?
The year was 2001.
Okay. Can you add some stuff in post
Yeah.
and like make that real?
I'm definitely gonna do like a Morgan Freeman impression.
Please do.
Please do.
Please do.
Like like in what is it, Bruce Almighty?
Oh,
and Anthony.
Yeah.
In the year 2001.
All right, 2001.
The cast was Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz.
They were in a movie together.
Are we all on the same
Yes.
page here?
We actually just passed the release date anniversary of 2001, April 22, 2001.
He knows the release
What
date.
movie?
What movie is it?
It's Shrek.
Oh my god.
So it's Fiona.
Fiona for sure. Fiona's
Fiona.
hot.
I mean, the red hair and everything.
Have you ever watched or read the dialogue between Donkey and the Dragon?
So it's.
I think the definition of dialogue means two people speaking.
Hold on a minute.
You should see what Donkey's telling her.
It's the sexual tension.
It's the sexual tension.
No. Listen, hear me out.
Dragon has some cakes.
Cheeked up.
Yeah, but let's
cheeked
And
up.
eyebrows
remember
on
here.
fleek too.
I know,
with
lashes
eyebrows.
bad.
Yeah.
That's a bad
Yeah,
bitch.
but
She
that's
got
not,
money.
guys. That's not what he said. He said
Yeah.
the dialogue. The dialogue.
Didn't know she
Maybe
was
I don't
brown.
remember what Donkey was saying, but he must have been putting it down.
He was putting it down.
He was doing the whisper song by the Yin Yang Twins.
Yeah, no
He
kidding.
said Shrek, and I was 100% sure Fiona.
But he was saying, "Wait till you see my tail."
Yeah, that's my personal tale.
That's it.
That's it. Or hear me
Can't
out.
breathe.
It's one of three different stories.
Oh
that
my
could
God.
Shrek
go
1,
away.
2, and 3.
Shut up. Nope.
Okay.
This is one of three.
Okay.
Maybe we'll revisit this.
He said
Episode 4.
tantalizing.
Are we gonna have an Anthony spiritual or sexual awakening segment for the next 3 weeks?
Just every week, Anthony's like, so this is what made me hard. and then he just lets us know.
It goes year by year, 2002.
In 2005, I was eating breakfast.
Captain Crunch was looking crunchy.
It was a bagel, and it was the first time I ever tried cream cheese on a bagel.
What? We've spiraled out of control. Let's wrap this shit
Well,
up.
all right. Here we go. The only non-married man.
Yeah, I would like to relinquish my mic privileges.
Definitely.
He said, "I plead the fifth."
Yeah, I plead the fifth.
My
sixth.
my girlfriend slash. Yeah, just girlfriend. I don't know why I said
Yeah,
slash. She
what's
can
the
leave
slash?
me.
Well, yeah, but you know, I don't think this will be anything that she'll be bothered by.
We'll see.
Uh,
I've known her my entire
Yeah,
life.
that's right. This is true.
To be determined.
We'll let y'all know
her
next
decide.
week.
Hey, you know,
Anyway.
yeah. So I thought it was one thing at first. I thought it was a moment when I was 15, but it was actually earlier. I was 6 or 7. I still can't remember. I can't give you a date. Like 2004. 2004. Carlton was a young chap. No, I can't do that.
A strapping young man.
Was definitely not 7. You're the oldest guy in
Well,
here.
yeah,
2004, you were like 15.
No, I wasn't. First of all, for everyone listening, I'm 30 in the year 2023 that this podcast is being recorded.
Let us everybody know the time and
Yeah,
date.
right. This timestamp it. But yeah, I was like 6 or 7, and at my grandma and grandpa's apartment complex was this, like, I'm pretty sure she was like 16. And looking back on it with my adult brain, I definitely was
You were
obsessed.
molested?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Cody.
No,
What?
this wasn't like a babysitter situation
Oh,
or
okay,
anything like
okay.
that.
You were not
No.
groomed.
No,
You were just,
I
I
wasn't
mean, the
groomed.
way it started,
I
you
wasn't
gotta
groomed.
so my
Like
baby.
this-
I was there every day before my parents got off work, and every day I was asking my grandma what Belle was up to. That was her name, Belle.
Aw.
Never met a Belle since then either. That's kind of a peculiar name, I guess. But yeah, every day I'm like, hey, what can we go, hang out with Belle, whatever. This is how deep it was. I thought she was my girlfriend. Legit. This
Yep.
is no lie. I really
Yep.
did. Because the apartment complex had a playground and all that. I would have a go-kart that you had to pedal, and sometimes she would push me while I steered. And I guess that was her courting me. I don't know.
Man.
I was like, oh yeah, this is my girl. Like, she's my ride or die.
All you other little boys out there having to
right?
push with your feet.
Yeah, y'all
My
got a
girl's
pedal.
got me.
I'm over here, my feet on the wheel, on the steering wheel, just chilling. But yeah, that was it. That's when I realized, like, you know what, women, are great creatures, beautiful creatures.
Carlton's was so
Yeah.
wholesome compared
Yeah,
to
I
the
know,
rest
it
of
was.
us
Well, yeah.
bastards.
I was just like,
Yeah.
let me see some tits.
Yeah.
Anthony was
Yeah.
like, donkey talk dirty to me.
And
And
meanwhile-
Leslie has an infatuation with a
with
fictional character.
with arachnids. Let me find out. Yeah.
No, never mind. We're not getting into this right
Uh-oh.
now.
No, continue.
No.
And meanwhile, Carlton's being pushed on this tricycle or whatever it is.
Go-kart.
Yes, go-kart.
Yeah.
Yes, this is dating.
I might,
Yeah.
I might regret this that I'm about to say. Wait, because none of y'all. I had a crush on Simba as a kid,
Oh my god.
like 7.
Wait, the kid that played Simba? Or...
No, she
No,
means
just like
the
Simba.
lion.
You mean the lion?
The lion.
Yeah, I'm not sexually attracted to the fucking lion now. That's weird, but as a
Now,
little
which
kid,
implies
in
you
my
were.
brain, no, in my little
It
like
was his
7-year-old brain, in my 7-year-old brain, I said I want to know what that thing looks like.
He was
as
a go-getter.
boy. No, listen, I wanted to know what that thing looked like as a boy. I said, I guarantee you, if the lion was turned into a boy, that'd be a cute boy.
What in the world?
This is the children's imagination.
Are we
just
done
coming
with the?
out.
I'm done.
I also had a crush.
I'm
Can
done.
we
Thank
rap?
you.
Can we rap, please?
We're rapping.
I'm done.
Can we just cut that whole bit out?
No, it's staying in.
Golly.
Everybody's gonna know you like
Somebody's-
animals.
No, I do not.
Yeah.
That's the name of the episode. Leslie's into bestiality.
No, you're
Oh,
not.
I don't like that word. Don't do
No,
that.
Yeah,
don't
let's not
say
do that
that.
word. Let's not do that word.
You can't do
just
that.
bleep it out and then let people
No.
just think about it.
Leslie is into ...
No, 'cause
Lions.
I'm not into lions.
Sexually attracted to lions.
Are you a Leo?
No,
Okay.
Am
Just
I
like
Leo?
Lion King 2
I don't
was a
know.
whole new
I don't-
dynamic.
I don't.
You're a Virgo. All of our kids are Leos.
Okay, on that, we are rapping. We're not going to get into
Yeah.
that conversation.
We have to figure out a better way to cut this episode off.
Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed it. This episode was an odd one. We had a lot going on. But if you made it to this point, please like, share, follow. We appreciate you guys being here.
Bye, y'all. Bye.